Hey, you're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen. I'm Elisa. Got this new oracle deck that I'm going to check out today. That's strange. Wonder how that happened. Anyways, I'm going to pick one of these to start the reading. I've been slowing down on the readings lately. It's been a lot going on in the background over here. So, yeah. You might not be seeing my mom in the background of the readings here. So a lot's been going on. Okay, so I got the Weasel and Pine. Introspection. I really love the artwork on these decks because, like, I've gotten really into gardening, and, like, I started this garden with my mom, and so I feel like I've been really getting in touch with nature, and so this deck is super resonating right now. But anyway, so it's a time of introspection. Maybe a time of, like, evaluating what your priorities are, because things are in flux, or they're about to be, and yeah, when I just did the split, we got the Judgment and the Queen of Pentacles. I'm going to keep shuffling, but yeah, there's a big change that's happening, and so it's just sort of like taking stock of, like, where you are and where you want to go, because it's clear that, like, a shift is kind of inevitably coming down the pipe. Okay. All right, so we got the Fool and the Eight of Swords. So what I get, so this is a person who's sort of like just taking a leap of faith into the unknown and stepping forward into the future with, like, no baggage. They're just going for it, you know? They're sort of like, but it kind of came out like, well, we have the Eight of Swords, so it's just sort of like this person is sort of blocked, so by their own fear, you know, their own fear is blocking them from, like, seeing that there's actually a path forward. They're just not seeing it because they're sort of like trapped by their own thoughts. So it's like, it seems like there's a path forward, but there might be, like, a cycle of, there's this reading called, like, overcoming cycles of fear or overcoming abuse or something like that, where I'm going to link here, where this came up. But it's just sort of like, there's a lesson that has to be unlocked here, because there's some sort of fear that's being triggered in this situation that's maybe blocking someone from moving forward. And this is a moment to sort of, like, introspect and figure out what that lesson is. Like, that's why this is happening, you know? So when we pull this down, we have the Seven of Swords, and we have the Page of Wands, and we have the Seven of Wands. So it's sort of like, what I'm getting is this person has been entangled in some sort of, like, deceptive situation, like a lie, but maybe there's some good news that's coming in about progress that's happening with the situation, but it's requiring this person to have to defend themselves. So it's sort of like, this could be, like, some sort of, like, familial pattern or something that's, like, happened over and over again. So this person is kind of fearing the worst because that's kind of what's always happened. But what this kind of suggests to me is that actually this is the lesson that they need to learn. The lesson they need to learn is to defend themselves and stand up for themselves, because that's what's going to bring in a different outcome. So it's kind of maybe part of this introspection is like figuring out healthy boundaries to deal with this situation. Because this person has really been run through the ringer, and things need to be brought into balance to bring in stability for this person. So this definitely seems like a long-standing, maybe familial situation. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the light seers. Whoops, a bunch of stuff just fell out. It's way too many cards, so I'm just gonna keep shuffling. Okay. Wow. Okay, so we got 2 10s here. Ugh, and we got the 7 of Swords again. So this lying, deceptive situation, this person, one person is doing all the work. That was a reading that came in sort of recently. What was it called? But it was all about this one person doing all the work, and I'll link it here. That person might be this Queen of Pentacles. But so we have the King of Cups, and this person, you can see they have like a, you know, a really radiant vibration. So this person has like been working on themselves, and maybe there's this like boat sailing away in the distance. Like this person is maybe sort of wanting to like move on from some sort of situation that's been disappointing to them, and maybe, you know, they've been kind of trapped in this situation, but in the meantime they've been working on themselves. They've been working on their vibration, healing, and like manifesting something for the future. So they're not just like wasting their time, you know, they're putting their energy towards something productive, even though they've been trapped in this situation. And it's just like, it's been a disappointing situation, but this person is the one that's holding the cup with all the jewels in it, you know? It's like that whole story of like the person who's kind of doing all the work, where this other person is just like being kind of a brat and causing all this drama. And but we have, right after that, we have the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords. 2 10s. So it's like this situation, this unjust situation, is coming to an end. Like they're putting the burden down, and like the situation is coming to an end. Whatever this deceptive situation is that's been holding this person back, it's coming to an end. So, okay, so I'm gonna go to oh my gosh. Okay, so this is when I did the split on the Mystical Shaman. We got these 2 cards, which they match, but it's perfect because it's like the soul retrieval. So this speaks to like having some sort of wound or distortion in how you're connecting with the world, you know, because it's like when some sort of emotional wound happens, it's like we block ourselves from seeing it, even though it's in our energy. We sort of dissociate from it. And so by not healing that, you like keep attracting the same situation to yourself again. And so soul retrieval is all about sort of like introspecting and figuring out, you know, and accepting and like embracing and healing whatever this distortion is, and like bringing it back into your consciousness. And in doing that, you heal the pattern, or whatever this repeating cycle is that's happening, and that allows you to like sort of graduate to the next stage of life. So what I'm getting from this whole thing is it's like it's been feeling like this person has been like in this pause forever, but this has been like a really important moment in time because they've been healing this wound, you know, some sort of lie that maybe someone's told about them or that they've been told about themselves, that's really been holding them back in life. And so they've gotten into some sort of situation that's like forcing them to sort of reconcile this situation. And that's what's happening. They've like done all this work, they've healed their vibration, and they've figured out that, you know what, like, I'm the one that's holding all the jewels here. Like, I deserve better than to be mistreated and taken advantage of, you know. And we have precognition and psychic ability and future vision. So it's like this person, and then we have adjustment, looking back and moving forward. So it's like this person is taking stock and figuring out how they're going to move forward into a different experience. They're graduating to a different experience because that's what they deserve. So, okay, I'm going to go to the Queen of the Moon and I'm going to pick a final card. This is really good. This is like a really, really healing energy. And it's like a hard one lesson. But this is like life-changing, where someone's really going to... It's almost like there's some recurring cycle in their life or some awareness about themselves that they didn't have that is being healed, and it's going to propel them to have a completely different experience in life going forward. So we got peace and we got balance here. So healing whatever this wound is, and then faith. And moving forward in faith, knowing that they're going to move forward into a better experience. So, oh my gosh, this is like I'm getting like profoundly healing vibes from this reading. So it's like, you know, this is like moving on to a better place, you know. It's like riding off into the sunset, you know. But like leaving behind some, like, it's almost like graduating from high school and maybe having been like tormented by all these mean girls, but then like getting accepted to Harvard or something and being like, well, you know, like you're moving on to a whole new world where the mean girls they're not even going to matter anymore, you know, because you're just graduating, you're elevating, and like they're not going to mean anything in the new life that you're headed to. So it's just sort of like they're just going to be like a little like bug in the distance that like doesn't even matter anymore. So I mean, it's kind of like, you know, the best revenge is like a life well lived, you know. And so it's sort of like, this one is kind of like the best revenge. It's like totally classy and like well deserved. So that's what I'm getting for today. We'll check in soon with more.